Good morning, Manitoba. I'm Larry McIntosh, and I'll be your host for the next hour and every Saturday morning from 8 to 9. Thank you for tuning in. I have to say at the start of the show, how about our Winnipeg Jets? What a fantastic season they're having. You're making us proud. Go, Jets, go. Did you know that Food and Friends Radio is on TV? Each radio show is filmed and will be posted on Mytoba.ca later today. So if you want to see the TV version of this or previous radio shows, please visit Mytoba.ca. You can also listen to an audio podcast of Food and Friends at SoundCloud.com and at the iTunes Store. So please just do a search for Food and Friends with Larry McIntosh at Mytoba.ca or SoundCloud.com or at the iTunes Store, and all the shows will come up for your listening or viewing pleasure. My guest this morning is Albert Tassi, CEO of Peerless Garments. Good morning, Albert.
Good morning to you, too.
How are you?
Great.
Well, thank you for joining us.
My pleasure.
I know you're an incredibly busy guy, and Shelley and I run into you at charity functions all the time, so I can't imagine how many things you go to, but appreciate you spending some time with us this morning.
My great pleasure.
So Peerless Garments, been around, I think I read when we were doing research for the show, 70 years?
Since 1940. Yeah, that would be 75 years.
Oh, 75 years, okay.
Yeah, 75 years altogether. And I've been with the company for the last 45 years.
So you're just working out for you, 45 years.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
So tell us a little bit about the company.
Oh, the company is, like I said, it's an old company. It started in 1940. And it started basically the way I knew the principal. I knew who had the company before. His name is Meyer Clapman. He started with a couple of machines, sewing machines, and he went to Eaton's, and he started selling Eaton's, small stuff here and there. He added one more machine, sewing machine, and when one of them breaks down, so they use the other machine. And he grew from there, and the company was a successful company all along till I guess I joined the company in 1969 when I came from Lebanon. I came from Lebanon with my late mother, may God bless her soul. And I started with Peerless in 1969. I was a young man at that time, and I was 20 years old. I came here to join the rest of the family and to continue my education. I wanted to be a CA, as I was doing some studying accounting back home in Lebanon.
Okay.
And I said, I figured I'll work for 1 year and do something for myself. I didn't want nobody to support me. I didn't want the family to support me. So I figured I'll work for 1 year. And I worked that year, and that year took me for another 45 years in there. It's a long story, and the principal at the time, after says, I'm leaving in 1 year, I'm quitting. He says, what are you going to do? School teacher again like you were before? We're going to be an accountant. Whatever you're going to be, I'm going to make it up to you, and I'm going to do whatever it takes in there to keep you in the company. And I stayed with the company, and we had a great success since that time. We opened a new company called Landry Leathers. And as part of the family, his son-in-law opened it, and I came and ran that company for 8 years, and ran the warehouse for Peerless Garment. The company started with $50,000 volume a year, and I took it up to $8 million. When the problem took place in Montreal, the separation, if you remember the time, 1978. Mm-hmm. Some people came and they started buying companies in Western Canada. This was one of the companies who sold. So I came back to Peerless, the head office, July the 10th, 1978, and I continue to increase, whatever I can in the company. So I took the company from $3.6 million to $93 million.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So,
$93 million.
Yeah, but it didn't happen over 1 year.
Wow, that's pretty impressive.
Up until from 1978 to 2004. That was the peak of the market, and that was the peak of the Peerless in 2004.
So what type of garments do you do today?
Well, today we mainly do the government, like D&D, Army, Navy, Air Force, RCMP, CPSA, Parks Canada, all kind of departments, like the federal government.
Okay.
We over the years we changed. We changed. I might go back a little bit in there on the history of Peerless. We specialize in cold weather parka. That's the specialty of Peerless Garment, and we always did wonderful in that. And then we did the leather. I did leather with in Peerless for 38 years, and we sold Sears Canada right across the country for 38 years, leather outerwear. And they did good with Peerless, and we did good with them till they said, now we're gonna go to China. That's it. I offered them. I said, look, I can bring this stuff from China for you for the same price, and as a product is 100% stitching great, dome's good. We are 9001 ISO 9001. We were 9002 at the time, and we became 9001. And I offered them the same thing. No, we have some offices there where we need to occupy those offices, and we need workers to work, so we can import from there. So unfortunately, 5 years ago, we lost the business with Sears. And from there on, we branched into something else. We did the oil fire retardant product,
Okay.
and we done well with it for 3 years. We sold a few $1 million every year, and now we're really concentrating on the government, as we always did since 1950. We did all the design and development since 1950 for the federal government for D&D. So now we are really 97% of our business is with them.
We'll be right back with Albert L. Tassi, CEO of Peerless Garment, after we take this break for your weather update. Welcome back. I'm Larry McIntosh. Albert's offered a men's Peerless leather large jacket to give away to a lucky listener. I probably didn't say that. It's a men's jacket in size large is the better way to put it. If you want to enter your name into a draw to win this men's Peerless leather jacket, it is beautiful. I can tell you, I'm just looking at it right here. Simply send me an email at larrymcintosh@peakmarket.com before noon today, and just put in the subject line, Go Jets, because that's the current topic in town right now. So again, if you want to enter the draw to win the men's leather jacket, I got to slow down here. Send an email to me before noon today to larrymcintosh@peakmarket.com. Macintosh is MC, and it's Peak Market, not Peak of the Market, peakmarket.com, with Go Jets in the subject line. And we'll do a draw later this weekend and let the person know who won the jacket when they can pick it up at Peak of the Market. We're back with Albert L. Tassi, CEO of Peerless Garments. Thank you very much for bringing the jacket. That's great.
My pleasure. I hope whoever wins it to have a word in good health.
I'm sure they will. Let's talk a little bit about you. You mentioned in the first segment that you're from Lebanon originally.
Yes.
So that's where you were born. Your family was born there. And you moved here in what year again?
1969, October the 4th.
To be exact. You remember that date.
Absolutely.
And since then, you've put your, I don't know if you want to call it, your name on our city and our province. You're known for all the work that you do throughout the province and so much good. You've gotten lots of awards. And we want to talk about that over the next 45 minutes or so. But I just want to give you a quote and during research, here's a quote that I read about you that kind of sums up. At work or at home, his door is always open to those in need, whether it be money or advice, help in finding housing, a job, or providing counseling to new immigrants adjusting to the Canadian way of life. He is always there to help. That's a really nice quote. I don't know who said that because I didn't write it down, but that's a really nice quote about you.
Thank you. I try to do. When you come in here, I came in here with no money basically, and with dedication and blessing from God and a blessing from my mom and work ethic and all that. I made good, and when you make good in this world and there, you must help others, and if you don't help others, then something wrong with the person. If God gives you, you have to give others. That's what we were put on this earth and there, to help one another. and to feed one another and to build for one another and to educate one another. And I was blessed with, with a lot of things, with so many things in my life in there. And that blessing comes because you give, because you help, because you do good in life. And every religion in the world said the same thing. It's not because I'm a Muslim I'm saying that. All the religion on earth has said the same thing in there. So, yes, I do help the refugees. I help, the homeless. I work with a lot of organization. I work with a lot of educational organization too, with university, with hospitals, with a lot of different organization in need, and where humanity can benefit. Where humanity can benefit, that's what I do, and that's what I like to do. And you want to leave something legacy behind for your children and for your grandchildren, and to say, my dad did something good for this world in there, and I'm happy to be able to do it.
And there's lots of people that, talk about that, and certainly the religions I know all inspire that, but not everybody lives it the way you do.
Yeah, well, everybody is different.
Yeah, absolutely.
Everybody is different in there. But I don't know if I should quote certain things in here or not. Like I said earlier, when God gives you better, you have to give. You have to give, and if you don't give, that pleasure will be taken away from you, because the sad and the meaning of it. God has created certain people and their job to help others. The minute they say, "Oh, I had enough in there. I don't want to deal with this no more," God take that privilege away from them and gives it to somebody else and says, "No problem. It's a privilege. God gives you a privilege in there." And that's as a special belief in there. And you're right. Some people, they don't, and they hang on to their dollar. And some people, they spend their dollar. When they spend their dollar, other dollars comes in. And when you have that belief in there, just like I said once before, when you enjoy giving more than receiving, you got it made. And I hope all of us be able to make a difference in this world, on this earth.
That's very well put. So moving here from Lebanon, 1969, new country, you spoke English at the time?
Yes, I did.
So you had that at least going for you, but it had to be, I know that's a lot of years ago, but it had to be exciting and scary at the same time, or?
It was tough. It wasn't easy, I must tell you. The good thing in there, I had a family here.
Mm-hmm.
I had my brother in here, and we're still living, and I had two sisters. But the good thing was, like you said, I spoke English, and that helps. And I started, with Peerless Garment. And what helped also, the owner of the company, he liked what I did, and he wants to hang on to me, and he used to come and say every 2 weeks, he said, "I give you a raise, Albert, 10 cents. And, by the end of the year, I says, I'm going to be a rich man at the end of the year. It was tough. It was not easy. The weather was not very friendly at that time.
A little different than where you were used to?
In 1969, I don't know if you remember that, but, it was difficult times in those early years. It was cold, and I remember I used to load a truck outside, semi-trailer in there, and I'm going to tell you a little funny thing happened. They said, you have to have a gloves, so I went and I bought a gloves, but I didn't know what kind of gloves to buy, so I bought a leather glove in there with no line, like only a summer lining,
right.
Dress glove. When I was loading the truck, my hands was frozen more than without it. So I took it off in there because I didn't know what to buy. We don't use gloves back home in Lebanon.
Right.
So it was tough. It was not easy. I was a school teacher back home in there. And when I used to come home in there, it was not easy. I talked to my mom, and my mom was my role model. And God bless her. She was fantastic, and she helped me a lot.
We're talking with Albert L. Tassi, CEO of Peerless Garments. We'll be right back after this. Welcome back to Food and Friends. I'm Larry McIntosh, and it's time for our recipe segment called Now We're Cooking. You don't need to write this recipe down, as it is today's recipe of the day at peakmarket.com and in the Winnipeg Free Press. Today's recipe is carrot coconut loaf. Carrot coconut loaf. This recipe sounds good, and here's what you need for it: flour, white sugar, baking soda, baking powder, cinnamon, salt, eggs, oil, milk, carrot shredded, sweetened flaked coconut, and raisins. And this recipe serves 12. If you're interested in viewing the full recipe, it's today's Recipe of the Day at peakmarket.com and in the Winnipeg Sun. We'll be right back with Albert Tassi from Peerless Garments after this break. Welcome back. I'm Larry McIntosh. I hope you've had an opportunity to see the Peak of the Market's potato bags featuring 9 different Sesame Street characters. Along with the characters, you'll still see the Peak of the Market logo, so you are guaranteed it is grown right here in Manitoba. We're very pleased to partner with Sesame Street on the Eat Brighter program. The Sesame Street Eat Brighter program is all about encouraging children and adults to eat more fruits and vegetables. We're back with Albert Tassi, CEO of Peerless Garments. And we're talking in the last half hour about what you do in the community and what you do for new immigrants. And I read a quote, but I have another quote that, again, I didn't write down the person, so they know who they are out there, but let me read what they say about you. Giving back to the nation in which he lives and the community which he serves and the world to which he belongs is a fundamental part of his beliefs. The opportunity for success that he has enjoyed has also been an opportunity to reach out to others in need around the world. So what you do is not just about Winnipeg and Manitoba. You're also helping people in other parts of the world.
Yeah, something like landmines in different countries, and where they're removing the landmine through the army. I do help in that. I sponsor orphans around the world, and they're in different parts of the world. I sponsor orphans, say in some of them in Vietnam, some of them in Africa, some of them in Afghanistan, some in Palestine. Wherever a chance to do good for humanity and to help children. I love children. I have 16 grandchildren.
16 grandchildren.
So I love grandchildren. I love children altogether in there. And one of the things why I do that, I opened a school. I'm responsible for a school about 19 years ago, where we have 230 children right now. Which I'm the main supporter. Well, not me, only my wife, my son, my whole family in there are supporter of the school in there. So
is the school in Manitoba or?
The school's in Mytoba. Yes.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. On Deslaberry. I always have problem with the name.
Don't ask me to help you with names.
Is Nairn and Watt.
Okay, yes.
The building of Nairn and Watt. So,
okay.
Yeah, so I started that school 19 years ago, and I'm proud to say it's a fantastic. We have 230 children right now, and we hope to expand the school this year to build a gym, 6,000 square feet gym. So hope that will make us expand our current gym right now to make more classes for the other children.
So what made you want to found a school?
Just as part of what we said earlier in the show in there about refugees and helping them out. The kids come in here from places in the world and they didn't go to school. They were in a camp. And when they come here, they have the culture shock in there. It's not the kids only. The kids will adapt to anything. But the problem is when they come in here, becomes a sort of a distance between the children and their parents. The parents don't understand English. They don't understand the language. The kids understand the English fast. In 3-4 months, and all of a sudden the child starts speaking. So it becomes a gap between the children. The parents don't know what the kid's doing. So with this in there, I thought, and we as a community, as part of the entire community, the thoughts was from all of us in there, to see if we can open a school. And a regular school actually has the Manitoba curriculum, and no difference than any other school. And the only difference in there that it has 45 minutes a day language, Arabic language, and religion. So and we've been. I'm proud to say we have never had any problems along those 19 years with any of our children, and they're nothing. So this is what makes me so happy and so proud of what we did, and as far as that goes.
We talked in the last half hour about some of the things you've done, but it takes a special kind of person to take a step back and say, you know what, we're going to open a school. I mean, that's not something that I would ever think of doing for sure. That's incredible to have that foresight to help people that are coming to
Yeah,
adjust.
like as a community, the thoughts came in as a collective thoughts from the entire
Sure.
community. What my role and my family role was just a little bit more than everybody else in there. We did the financial part of the school, and that was substantial amount. So that's what happened. And that's why I'm proud of the family, my son and my the entire family. What they helped a great deal.
So how many children do you have?
I have four.
Four children and 16 grandchildren.
Yeah, 16.
And they all live in Winnipeg?
They all live on the same street.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, with me.
That's fantastic.
Yeah, they all live on the same street with me. I get to see the grandchildren every day. If it's not all of them, half of them, and the second half the second day.
So judging about what you're saying, certainly about family, but family is important to you. Is that one of your...
Oh, very much so. Family is everything. If you don't have the backing of the family and the love of the family, your love to the family in there, there'll be a problem down the road in there. When you have the family tied together in there, everything becomes easy for them in life in there. And the future is very important for those kids in there to know each other, to love each other, to care for one another, to learn what we as a role model for them, the grandmother and the grandfather. So this is the family is an essential in every community. Is not only in our community, but I think it is the most important thing is to have the family together and to love one another, to care for one another, to support one another down the road in there. So if we teach them that, then we got it made.
And how many people work at Peerless?
Right now, 97 people.
And so you have a larger family there.
This is family, and this is a real family. I spend more, I don't know, I spend more time with this family than I spend with my family.
Sure.
I go to work early. I go to work early.
Early.
Early. I go to work 5:30, 6 o'clock. I'm at work, and I till 4:30 for if I have to stay later. I used to work on Saturdays and half Sunday. I don't do that no more. The age caught on to me. But that's my family, and whatever they need, the larger family in Peerless, I provide for them in there, whatever they have, help, immigration, anything, banking, mortgages, all kind of stuff they need, problems, we try to help them out.
We'll be right back with Albert Tassi, CEO of Peerless Garments, after we take this break. Welcome back. I'm Larry McIntosh. We talked about this in the first half hour, but Albert has offered a men's Peerless leather jacket in size large to give away to a lucky listener. To enter your name into the draw to win this men's leather jacket, simply send me an email to larrymcintosh@peakmarket.com before noon today with Go Jets in the subject line. Again, to enter your name into the draw, send me an email before noon today to larrymcintosh@peakmarket.com. McIntosh is MC, and it's peakmarket.com with Go Jets in the subject line. And we'll do a draw later this weekend and let you know if you won the men's leather jacket. We're back with Albert Tassi, CEO of Peerless Garments. I've read so much about you this week leading up to this interview, and I thought I knew a lot about you, but there's so much more to you and your family that I had no idea about. You've had a park named after you. You have a street named after you. You've got the Order of Manitoba, Order of Canada, a member of the Order of Canada, I think. It goes on, and I'm not going to embarrass you by reading all the awards you've got, but you're an incredible individual along with your family. It's amazing to have you as a citizen of our province.
Thank you very much. Thank you for saying all of that. When I received a few awards in there. Like you say, one of them is the Order of Canada, a member of Canada, and Order of Manitoba. I think that's the proudest moment of my life in there, and the happiest moment of my life when you receive something that meaning has a meaning in there, and you say, this is Canada, really. It is nothing like that on earth in there. Well, Canada is the most beautiful country in the world in there. There is no doubt about it. And they're the most important country on earth. And there, it's happy to be able to live in Canada and raise your children and your grandchildren and all your siblings in Canada. Canada is great when they value what do you do in there in this country. And I never seen any country like that values certain work you do in there, and they reward you for it. First of all, you ask the reward from God. This is number one, as we said earlier in there. But when there's also a say, who does not know how to thank the people, does not know how to thank God. That is a true say from a prophet. So when I see somebody doing something good in this world, I really have to say thank you for you doing what you're doing in there. And that is very important in our world. And yes, we did. Even you received an award, like I did, also from Children Variety.
Varieties, yes. I think I got it the year after you. I was very honored to be in the same mentioned in the same sentence.
Yeah, you got it the second year, so that was nice to see that. And again, children, children. We all work for the children in there. We all love children. We want to see those children live in a great environment, peaceful environment. And this is what's good about this country. It's so peaceful right now in every which way, and I hope stays that way. I mean, a lot of trouble around the world, as you all know, and we see every day what's going on all over the world, from wars and killing and all that stuff. Canada is exempt from that, and I hope that stays that way, and I hope Canada stays exempt from all these problems in there.
Do you think understanding each other's cultures, whether that's anywhere in the world, different religions, different countries, is that important? I mean, obviously it's important. Let me rephrase the question. Do we understand enough of each other in the world? Is that part of the problem of getting along?
Yeah, Canada it has all kinds of
Absolutely,
religions, and has kind of cultures and all kind of different. Well, we have 19, like the United Nations, we have 99 probably or more different cultures in here. We get along because the country is based on peace, based on the culture in here is good for everybody. And you come in here and you say, look, I escaped this and I escaped that, and I'm coming in here to live in a peaceful environment. And that's why all of us live nicely and without any problem there. And we hope that to remain. And the government has a lot to do with it. And by saying, this is, you come in here and you are protected. You come in here and you are safe. And when you have that environment, you are happy to raise your children on the same type of a love and understanding for one another in this world.
And I was very fortunate to be born in Canada. Many people have been moved to Canada, such as yourselves. They've been fortunate to live in this country. And to take a step back like you did and realize how lucky we are. I've traveled a bit of the world, nothing compared to most people, but we are very fortunate to live in this province, in this country.
I traveled the world, and because my business takes me everywhere,
True.
Or it took me everywhere. Today I don't travel that much. I don't like traveling, but I'm getting too old for traveling. but I like Winnipeg. So what happened? Just to answer what you have said, I always said every Canadian youth should leave Canada and go and see the rest of the world. And when they come back to Canada, as they get off the plane, I think they will bow and kiss the ground they stepping on, which is Canada. When they see what's going on in the other world in there, they appreciate Canada. We spoiled a little bit in here. Let's not talk about all of that stuff. We have some problems too.
Absolutely.
They spoiled in here. When they see the third world country and how the other people live, they'll kiss the ground, to say, of Canada when they come back. And I say everybody should go and travel and see this in here, and like you say, you travel and you appreciate what you see in Canada versus other world.
We're very fortunate to live where we do.
Very fortunate.
We'll be right back with Albert Tassi, CEO of Peerless Garments, after we take this break. Welcome back to Food and Friends. Please join me next Saturday, April 18th. It's hard to believe it's April 18th already. At 8 a.m. when my guest will be Barry Rempel, President and CEO of the Winnipeg Airport Authority. My guest today has been Albert Tassi, CEO of Peerless Garments. Albert, it's been interesting to get to know you better.
Thank you.
You're a dynamic individual. I said it earlier, but I can't say it enough. We're honored to have you in our province and your family. And we had Mohammed on the show back last year, Sergeant Blue Jeans.
Right.
So your son, of course, and that was great as well.
Thank you very much, and I'm honored and humbled to be here on the show, and maybe I'll switch to vegetables so I can lose some weight.
and we did so much research for the show that we didn't even scratch the surface on some of the things you've been involved in. You'll have to come back another time to talk more.
I'll be more than happy to come back again and talk about any subject you want to talk about.
Thank you, Albert, for being on Food and Friends.
Thank you. My pleasure.
Thanks to Nicole Bonnycamp, our show's producer, and Riley Rivard, our camera guy. Go Jets, go. Take care, and please don't forget to eat your veggies.